Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now, Tyson Fury has taken to social media to give his prediction for his fight with Anthony Joshua. This is what he had to say. I just got off the phone with my trainer, Sugar Hill Stewart in America. We are going to smash AJ 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, done. Can't wait. So there we go, that is his assessment of this fight between him and Anthony Joshua. Simply, he's going to stop him within 3 rounds. It might happen in round 1, 2 or 3. Maybe he'll wait and choose on the night. That is kind of the idea we're getting from a Tyson Fury. Now, of course, a Tyson Fury is not going to go in there and look for the knockout that early. That wouldn't necessarily be the best game plan going in there with someone like Anthony Joshua who can slug it out, who can punch hard in both hands and use combinations, short shots on the inside. I mean, Deontay Wilder is a completely different prospect to Anthony Joshua. He brings a different skill sets to the table. AJ can fight on the inside, he can fight at range. He has a good jab, he can punch hard with both hands, and when he closes that distance and gets on the inside, those are short powerful shots, the uppercuts and hooks, are very devastating. So in light of that, Tyson Fury can't go in there, lose his shape, looking for the knockout, and he won't. Obviously he's just talking like this because maybe he wants to force a reaction from Anthony Joshua, maybe he wants to intimidate him, but AJ will have his game plan also, much as Tyson Fury will. It will not be though, to go round 1, round 2, round 3, looking for the knockout. I don't actually expect there to be much in the fight in the first few rounds. It might be cagey, they might establish their jabs, they'll want to see what their opponent has. This is undisputed after all, the biggest fight in the heavyweight division, but not just that, the biggest fight in world boxing. So when that is at stake, neither fighter are going to go in there looking for the KO. Now, if we look at the way they fought in their last fight, AJ was considered a different kind of fighter compared to what we have seen before from him, and so was Tyson Fury. Now, that is interesting because the fact that Tyson Fury was able to step to his man, be the puncher in there, go looking for him, and get the knockout, and the fact that Anthony Joshua was being elusive, maybe working off the back foot, avoiding shots and countering. So instead of getting hit and caught up in the rough and tough, Anthony Joshua was boxing more and using that side of his game, using his IQ. And Tyson Fury went the other way. Tyson Fury went looking for the knockout. Now, in light of those performances, will we expect to see the same kind of fighter from Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury in this undisputed fight? Well, no, because they are fighting a completely different fighter compared to any of the other fighters they have faced before, a different style. So sparring will be extremely important. The game plan will be vital in this fight. I mean, we could get caught up in the fact that Anthony Joshua can do this, Tyson Fury can do that, but it all comes down to the mental side of it. This is chess, not checkers. That is what Floyd Mayweather said to Anthony Joshua when he was going in to the Kubrat Pulev fight. And also at this level, it takes a fighter to be able to adjust to do different things in each and every fight. I mean, there are many saying that Anthony Joshua has changed. He's a different fighter compared to what he was. And yes, he's more mature, but he's not all that much different to what he was before. Neither is Tyson Fury. They are just able to adjust and change their game plan according to their opponent. You cannot fight Andy Ruiz the same way you fight Pulev, just as you cannot fight Pulev the same way you would fight Vladimir Klitschko or Joseph Parker or Dillian White. It takes a different game plan, and AJ has learnt that going through his career. Maybe at some point he did kind of fight the same way for a number of his fights, but when he got to a certain level he understood that you have to do this differently and that differently. Also for longevity in the sport of boxing as well. You cannot keep getting stuck in and going in the deep end each and every fight when facing high level opponents like he is and facing big punches, because it will take a toll on that fighter. We have seen many examples of that in the boxing ring. So what AJ is able to do is to slip a shot to make his opponent miss and make him pay. If he is able to do that and that ability is there, then why not use it? The same applies for Tyson Fury when he was the one who would box off the back foot, when he was the one who would make his opponent miss and make him pay, just as he did in the Vladimir Klitschko fight. But every now and then, the game plan calls for Tyson Fury to step on the front foot, to step heavy with that lead foot, to put pressure on his opponent, and that is what he needed to do against Deontay Wilder. That's what he done, and it got him the victory. But just because it worked against Wilder does not mean it will work against Anthony Joshua. Now, of course, Tyson Fury is sticking with his trainer, Sugar Hill Stewart, and he will be working with that kind of Kronk style, but it will be adjusted slightly. Of course it will be, because he's facing a different opponent to what he was last time, and we've spoken about how important it is to make those adjustments. Tyson Fury can do that, just as Anthony Joshua can, and Tyson Fury will be more aggressive than he was, say, in a fight with Vladimir Klitschko. He will be a lot more positive and looking to land blows. He won't necessarily be fighting Anthony Joshua off the back foot. I don't think we can expect to see that. I think also we can expect to see Tyson Fury around 19 stone again. Maybe not as heavy as he was in there with Deontay Wilder, but he will be a lot heavier than Anthony Joshua. AJ I would expect to come in around the same as he did against Pulev. A little bit heavier than the Ruiz fight, but he won't be much heavier than that. Because the situation is, Anthony Joshua can bulk up to say 18 stone, but still he's not going to be bigger than Tyson Fury. He is going to be the smaller man in there, with height and with regards to weight as well. So he doesn't necessarily need to try and be the bigger man in the fight. But still, when a fighter is naturally smaller, then they can use that to their advantage. They don't need to try and be the big man in the fight, because then they are playing to their opponent's strengths. That is something that Anthony Joshua does not need to do, and that could be quite devastating if he does try and do that, because he could gas out if he's 18 stone, and once he gets tired, Tyson Fury will jump on him. So he's going to want to be lighter, he's going to want to have the engine to go the distance if he must. But if we are talking about gas tanks, then let's talk about Tyson Fury as well. During his early career, he didn't show the best gas tank. He's shown an incredible amount of heart to continue, but then again, he wasn't always in the best shape for his fights. He did have to rely on his heart to pull him through. Against Anthony Joshua, it will take a lot more than just that. I mean, Tyson Fury is going to be in shape. He's not going to be like he was early in his career for the biggest fight in his career. That's not going to happen, so he will be in shape, but considering he will be around 19 stone, if he does try and do the same thing or something similar to what he done to Deontay Wilder, which is be the bigger man, be stronger, and carry that weight. If he does, we don't know how long he can go at that weight. We don't know how many rounds he can keep it up for, because yes, he done it with Deontay Wilder for 7 rounds, but he was in control. He was controlling the distance and the pace of the fight. That is extremely important. After the 3rd round, Deontay Wilder shown little to none resistance to Tyson Fury, and that was important to allow Tyson Fury to step on the gas when he wanted to, and to take a breather when he wanted to also. When a fighter is not in control of those fundamentals, they will burn energy a lot quicker than they would if they were in control. AJ had a prime example of that in the Ruiz fight, where he got tired. He was prepared for 12 rounds. He was in shape. He could have done 12 rounds, but he was burning nervous energy, and that meant he was getting more and more tired as the fight wore on, and that will be interesting to see how Tyson Fury deals with that if he is going to be at the high end of 18 stone or around 19 stone. It will be interesting to see how he gets on going past round 7 if the fight does go beyond that, because no one knows what's going to happen. 2 big heavyweights, anything can happen at any given moment, but as I said before, what it will come down to is the mindset of both fighters. Who holds their nerve, who sticks to their game plan, and who is able to carry that out and implement it on their opponent, who can also make the adjustments when it truly matters. They both can, but this is elite level. This is a different level for both of them. They are going to a place that they've never been to before. That is why this is a genuine 50-50, and that is why this is so interesting. Who can prevail, Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury? I guess that there's only one way to find out. But guys, in the meantime, make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.